Okay, this coming Sunday, I think that'll be July the 19th. At A Place to Talk, we're going to be talking about false prophets. Matthew 7:15-20. Here's what it says. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thick thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit you will recognize them. What do you think about that? Is that the right way to be aware of and look out for false prophets? Now, let me tell you what we do. This video is just going to be some questions. It's just questions to help me think, to help you think. It's just questions that'll kind of kick off the conversation. What we don't do at A Place to Talk is we don't have somebody that plays the role of father, leader, teacher. We're very careful. We don't even use the term pastor. We're very careful not to be a father figure to one another, not to be a teacher or a leader to one another in such a way that there's this hierarchical situation. Now, do you learn from one another? Yeah. Do we teach one another by communication? Of course. Do we sometimes give good advice like a father might? Sure, absolutely. But it's a mutual community relationship. It's not a relationship. There's a bag in my way here, in my feet. Anyway, it's not a relationship where there's a person standing over others or leading others or directing others or controlling others. We're very, very careful not to do that. And the reason we're careful not to do that is because we don't want to ever usurp the role of personal responsibility or, more importantly, usurp the role of like Jesus or Spirit or God, that leadership role in a person's life. I think that is the common thing that leads to more trouble in American churches than anything else. It's when some human being takes the role of God in another person's life. And I think that's the reason we've got this whole, anyway, lots of theological problems with that, lots of cultish like worlds because of that. And we just want to be careful to avoid that, which is why we don't play that role, that teacher, father, leader role. We ask questions, we have communications, we talk. Here's question number 1 for Sunday, July the 19th. Why does Jesus warn us about false prophets instead of simply promising to protect us from them? If Jesus is God and God has all sorts of power, why doesn't God protect humanity from false prophets instead of just giving us warnings? Do you ever wonder that? Like, I don't know, you think about the David Koresh, the Kool-Aid thing, and that one's dramatic, and that one leads to direct death. But there's others. I know so many people that are suffering from religious Stockholm syndrome. It's like they're trapped in a basement, worried about eternal conscious torment and hell, and they can't function as they should because they're so worried about crap theology that's been taught to them. What does fruit actually mean? Is it actions? Is it character? Is it doctrine? Is it results? Is it all of these? You ever tried to do something good and it turned out bad? Which one was the fruit? The attempt to do something good or the fact that it turned out bad? What was Jesus talking about here? Can someone appear incredibly successful in ministry yet be a false prophet? Another way to ask that question is, can somebody be incredibly successful in ministry and not be a false prophet? I mean, what is success in ministry? Is it big attendance and fancy light shows at church, or is it grace under fire? Is it coolness in tough circumstances? What is successful ministry? How long should we wait before judging someone's fruit? Is bad theology itself bad fruit or only bad behavior? Can Christians produce bad fruit temporarily without becoming a bad tree? Are we supposed to evaluate teachers, or does that contradict judge not earlier in Matthew 7? I've already told you that we don't use that role teacher, but what do you do there? What are modern examples of wolves in sheep's clothing? We could probably talk about that for days and days and hours and have lots and lots of examples. Can someone deceive themselves into believing they're a good tree when they're not really doing right and being good and all their fruit is bad? Last question. Is Jesus talking primarily about leaders, or is he talking about everyone? When this text, let's go back to the text. When this text says false prophets, is that talking about leaders, or is it talking about everyone? All right, those are some questions that we'll ask this coming Sunday at A Place to Talk. Love to have you. Comment, like, share here. Reach out. You're welcome to call me. My phone number is everywhere. It's easy to find. Text me, call me, reach out. Any way I can, I'd love to help you. If you want to be a part of this conversation at A Place to Talk, Sunday, July the 19th, 2026.